A deadly hit and run.
You kept going. You didn't even stop. You didn't slow down. Why? What were you doing?
Tonight on CBS Austin News, the search for the suspect who ran over 2 teen girls walking their dog.
We saw significant rainfall totals throughout the day today, and some more rain could be on the way. I'll break down our rain chances through the week.
And rewarding responsibility.
People don't know that they can take advantage of it.
The city's incentive to leave your car and not drive drunk. CBS Austin News at 10 starts now.
You got to be a man and own up to what you do and hold yourself responsible and accountable for what you do.
A family asked for your help tonight. They're looking to find the hit and run driver who killed their teenage daughter on a Taylor road. Police say they don't believe it was intentional.
CBS Austin's Jordan Bunke joins us from where that crash happened. Jordan, the community is rallying around the family.
Yeah, and you can see that right here on Old Thorndale Road in Taylor. You can see the balloons right here. Everything else was added from some other folks in the community. Police believe that the girls were walking on the street headed west when they were hit by a dark Ford F-150. And as they were walking, and then the driver just never stopped.
It's like a big blur, To me, it was.
That's how Jason and Paulette Barrett described the moment they learned their daughter was killed in a hit and run. 16-year-old Sharonda Barrett and a friend were walking her dog Diamond down this Taylor road. And as they were headed west, police say so was the driver of a dark Ford F-150 who struck the 2 teen girls and just kept going. One was sent and released from the hospital. But Sharonda?
She's in the ditch and she's not breathing.
Her father was the first one to find her.
Grabbed her and turned her on her back and started telling her to breathe. And I looked at her, I said, babe, she's blue.
Paramedics quickly took over as they looked on.
It was an eternity.
It's like a dream.
It's nothing short of a tragedy.
Commander Joseph Branson with Taylor Police said it doesn't appear to be an intentional hit and run. The only vehicle description right now is a dark Ford F-150 with damage to the front driver's side. But they're hoping security video
It could prove vital.
will help render an arrest.
When a scene like this unfolds, the community comes together.
And that couldn't be more true as a family came to drop off a meal, along with their condolences.
I love you guys. I love you too. Sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
Now, Taylor Police urge anyone with any sort of information to come forth and call them. We put their number on our website at cbsaustin.com. And even if it's a minor detail, they said, every little bit of information helps bring this person to justice. We're live in Taylor tonight. Jordan Bonke, CBS Austin News.
Thanks, Jordan. Developing now, a UT student is suing University President Greg Fenves after being suspended from the university. The student, identified only as John Doe, says he was accused of rape. The investigation cleared Doe of any wrongdoing, but the student says President Fenves reversed the decision and suspended him. The lawsuit says the university is not being consistent with its yes means yes policy.
We've been seeing rainfall all day across portions of central Texas, and there's still a couple isolated showers ongoing across our far eastern counties. Now, many of us cleared out really nicely. We mixed in some sun, we saw warmer temperatures, but we do still have cloud cover as well as rain chances over the next 24 hours, possibly even longer. Our rainfall totals for many of us were anywhere from 2 inches up to 4 inches, some even higher. In Fredericksburg, we did get almost 6 inches of rainfall, and Llano just over 7, also 7 1/4 over towards Toe. And while we've cleared out for now, our temperatures are cooling off as we head into the overnight, currently at 77 degrees. We are going to get down to those middle and lower 70s by the time the sun rises tomorrow morning.
Well, some of that rain did drive people away from Lake Travis today. Some businesses in the area say it's not necessarily a bad thing, though. Lake levels rose to 9 feet above the August average today. For businesses, that means more customers will roll in this weekend. The LCRA says the lake usually peaks in May and begins falling toward the end of June. Right now, the lake is almost 90% full. Protections for undocumented crime victims. An immigration attorney says fewer people are being granted U visas. The visa is a 4-year legal residency for violent crime victims that cooperate with police. CBS Austin's Melanie Torrey joins us live from APD headquarters tonight. Mel, you spoke to a woman who was actually denied this visa.
Yes, I did, Walt. She tells me she was working as a housekeeper when a man tried to sexually assault her. No one was arrested, but she applied for a U visa and was denied. An Austin immigration attorney tells me he's seeing more of his clients being denied these visas this year, and he thinks he knows why.
The woman we spoke to did not want to be identified. 10 years after she narrowly escaped an attempted aggravated sexual assault, she's still fearful.
That person came towards me, touching me. I was trying to defend myself, but he threw me on the bed. I was yelling hard so someone would listen.
She reported it to police, but the investigation was suspended 6 weeks later when they couldn't identify a suspect. The victim saved money for 9 years waiting to hire a lawyer. That lawyer advised her to apply for a U visa, and she was denied. Austin immigration attorney George Lobb says about a quarter of his clients are violent crime victims. He encourages them to apply for U visas, but that application doesn't go anywhere without specific approval.
You could prove that the defendant went to trial, that he or she was convicted of this violent crime, that you were the victim, you testified at trial, and unless the police, the prosecutor, or the judge sign that U visa certification, you don't qualify.
Lobb says the U visa process can take up to 3 years to complete, but he thinks fewer U visas are being approved when there's no one to show for committing the crime.
In other words, if the suspect didn't get caught, tough luck. Even if we have medical records, we have pictures, we have witnesses, witness statements, police reports.
Lobb says police catching the criminal is not required for victims to qualify for a U visa. And he says he's concerned more U visa denials will make undocumented residents reluctant to rely on police.
So one of two things. They either take the law into their own hands or they do nothing. Take your pick on which is worse.
The Austin Police Department tells us they have not changed their U visa policy this year. We did ask them how many of those visas have been applied for and how many they've approved this year. Tonight, we're still waiting to get that data back. Reporting live at the Austin Police Department headquarters, Melanie Torrey, CBS Austin News.
Thanks, Melanie. The Travis County Sheriff's Office recently created an awareness campaign to draw attention to the U visa program. Law enforcement across the state have expressed worries that less victims will come forward under the SB 4 law because of fear of deportation.
One man is advocating for an even tighter distracted driving law. Tonight, the Public Safety Committee heard amendment proposals for the distracted driving ordinance. The amendments would not allow drivers to use cell phones even when they're stopped in traffic.
The cognitive distraction could be, is what I said, upwards of 27 seconds beyond the time that the phone is then put down or stored when you're using it for text messaging or using it to scroll for email or Facebook or something like that, and that's something that concerns me.
The proposed amendments also say drivers would only be able to use headphones that are meant for music, and passengers would not be able to take photos or video inside the car because it could distract the driver. A city program to waive parking tickets is rarely used in Austin. CBS Austin's Adam Hammonds joins us live downtown. Adam, the program aims to prevent drunk driving.
Yeah, basically, if you park downtown, have a few drinks, and pay for another way to get home instead of driving drunk, the city could waive your parking ticket. But not a lot of people know about that. It's that dreaded sight, walking up to the car to see a municipal court envelope on the windshield.
Parking tickets aren't cheap.
Barrett Hollis and Emily Ponatera know that sight well. They live downtown, but their friends get tickets all too often.
It's just like a big struggle whenever friends come into town.
So have they heard of this Get Home Safe program?
I have not. That's the first time I've heard of that program.
Yeah, same here.
I'm thinking people don't know that they can take advantage of it.
The city's Jason Redfern says the program will waive parking tickets to keep drunk drivers off the road if they have a receipt for a bus, taxi, or rideshare and fill out the proper paperwork.
We don't want people to be worried about getting a citation and taking that risk in driving.
But it's only been utilized 22 times since 2014.
A lot of people are having a good time downtown, so 22 seems pretty low.
And in terms of people, it's less than that.
We've had one person use it 4 separate times.
The program won't pay every ticket. Redfern says it's up to a judge, so drivers may not want to leave their car until 5 p.m. the next day.
It has to be reasonable. You leave your vehicle overnight, we expect you to come get the vehicle the next day.
Redfern says it's also a last resort, but he hopes people will spread the word.
Yeah, definitely people that come and visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Now remember, if you want this waiver, you need a receipt. You also need to fill out some paperwork like this right here. You can either email that or take it here at 1111 Rio Grande Street. We do have access, a link to that email address and also a website to get this paperwork on our website at cbsaustinnews.com. Reporting live in downtown Austin, Adam Hammonds, CBS Austin News.
Thanks, Adam. After a decade in the works, Austin's new Central Library is now set to open at the end of October. The city says the library is set to open on West Cesar Chavez. Wish it was that fast. The project was approved in 2006. Back then, it was slated to cost $90 million, but over the years, the cost escalated to more than $125 million. The new library will be 6 stories tall. It'll include a cafe, a rooftop garden, and a parking garage.
A family who lost everything in a fire is now getting a big helping hand. People have been swinging by a fire station in South Austin to leave donations for that family of 5. Firefighter Isidro Saldivar went to Facebook and asked for gently used clothing to give to 4 children and their grandmother. The fire department is glad they were able to help. Diets based on DNA, but some question whether they're accurate. Scientists weigh in on these DNA diets.
Hold off on the vino, how the weather at some vineyards could affect how much wine is on store shelves. And we want to get your day started right. Remember, CBS Austin This Morning starts at 4:30 with breaking news, weather, and traffic updates. A new type of health test uses your DNA to give nutritional advice. There are several tests on the market right now, but critics say it's hard to really know how accurate they really are. So Michelle Miller takes a closer look at if this really works.
Every time Rebecca Castle sat down to eat her favorite foods, she says she suffered excruciating abdominal pain.
Terrible, like sharp shooting pain, bloating, distension.
That pain went on for more than 2 years. Castle saw multiple doctors. Then she took a DNA metabolic test.
I was allergic to starch. That's mostly root vegetables, corn, peas, sweet potatoes.
Ahmed El Sohimi is the chief science officer at Nutrigenomics.
Individual genetic differences can help us understand why some people respond differently from others.
Nutrigenomics says their DNA test looks at a person's 45 genetic markers. They make a recommendation based on the patient's genetic profile, pointing out attributes like an elevated risk for low iron.
We're talking about metabolic tests. They're genetic tests, but they affect the way that you metabolize various substances that you consume.
DNA tests for diet and exercise just are not validated.
Dr. David Agus is a CBS News contributor.
So are any of these tests accurate?
There are very few of them that actually have data behind them. And to me, that's a problem. You know, you had companies like 23andMe that were taken off the market for several years because they had to show data with regard to human disease. Well, I think the same thing needs to happen with nutrition and exercise.
Your iron status.
Castle says the test produced more than 30 pages of results about her body.
I think it's worth it. You don't need your blood taken. You're literally just spitting into a test tube. You could do it in your sleep.
Which means she can now avoid the foods that set off her stomach.
Michelle Miller, CBS News, New York.
Now, the FDA says it supports tests that may provide consumers with direct genetic information that can inform health-related decisions. But the agency points out it does not actively regulate these products.
One group says retirees are at a 40% higher risk of suffering from depression. Therapists say retirees can easily get bored, and that can lead to depression. Retirees are advised to take up a hobby, volunteer, and to plan trips. People who volunteer should plan to do that for about 10 hours a week, and creating a daily schedule can also help. Wine season is being threatened in Italy right now. Forecasters have nicknamed the summer heat wave Lucifer as it bedevils grape farmers. The high temperatures have created a drastic decline in production from about 10 to 15%. But it hasn't all been sour grapes.
I see what you did there.
The excessive heat has prevented fungus and disease from spreading on the vines. And some Italian towns had occasional rain before the hot weather, leading to more concentrated sugar levels in the grapes.
Well, we had quite a bit of rainfall throughout the day today, and we still have a couple showers and thunderstorms lingering mainly across our eastern counties. Now, a lot of this activity has been dissipating, but we still have this line of showers and storms to the north of our area, as well as some redeveloping showers over towards our eastern counties. So we're not completely in the clear yet when it comes to rainfall. We do have this low pressure system. You can tell there's that low pressure system there because of the rotation around the system by that rainfall. This low pressure system is associated with a cold front. Cold front obviously brought in some cooler air, plenty of rainfall throughout the day today, and as it stalls out into the Gulf of Mexico, we're going to hang on to that chance for rainfall. Although don't expect anything like what we were seeing this morning or late last night. Our rain is going to be much more isolated. We're not expecting that widespread activity as our atmosphere kind of starts to stabilize. As we go into the overnight, we will continue to see a couple isolated showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies over towards our eastern counties and mostly clear skies at this point over towards the hill country. But no matter where you are, we have a lot of moisture in the air. So it is fairly humid out there, and it should stay that way over the next 24 hours as we keep our rain chances around. As far as those rain chances go, though, our future track is not looking very promising. We have a couple spotty showers and thunderstorms that start to redevelop around 2-3 o'clock this morning into the overnight hours. We'll again bring in some cloud cover, those isolated showers and thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow, but we'll see much more sun throughout the day tomorrow, which will result in some hotter high temperatures. We are going to jump back up to the lower 90s by tomorrow, and we're going to keep on warming up as we move through the rest of the week. Over in the tropics right now, we're not seeing too much when it comes to anything that will affect us, but we do have this Tropical Storm Franklin, that is about to make landfall over Mexico. It is right now just 70 miles east. So this is expected to make landfall through the overnight hours, possibly becoming a hurricane as it moves back into the Gulf. No impacts to our area, but we will keep those 10 to 20% rain chances in the forecast through the end of the week as temperatures heat up.
Rain or shine, you can count on your mail to get delivered, but look at this guy going above and beyond. One of the most reliable postmen yet.
Neither snow nor rain will stop some mail carriers from getting the job done.
No sleet or hail, right?
Anything.
This is dedication here. At least that was the case for this carrier captured delivering mail in knee-deep floodwaters in New Orleans. Some areas of the city were hit with 5 to 8 inches of rainfall this weekend, causing businesses and roads to close down, but the U.S. Postal Service stayed open.
Brave mail carrier there. Amazon is now offering audiobooks for dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Thousands of classic titles are available. Audible cites a study suggesting listening to audiobooks rather than music reduces stress in animals. The company is teaming up on the project with dog whisperer Cesar Millan.
Do they read it like barking?
In barks,
Yeah.
like how are they different from
And
human
dog speak?
audiobooks?
I don't know.
Unclear. Lots of questions remain. We're going to be doing some
I'm
investigating
sure they're going
on
to
that
fly
one.
out to investigate. Yes.
Tomorrow night at 10.
Yes. Join us.
Bob's You're Now with sports. Football practice begins around the area.
The high school kids now getting in on the action as well. We'll hear from Austin High. Plus, the Longhorns land another big commit. Who's heading to Texas and what the current freshman crop will bring to the table. CBS Austin Sports is next.
Yeah, I have determined that.
Can you please tell us?
Yeah, Tom's going to start the game. Deshaun will play and Brandon will play. You have no idea how the game's going to play out. You know, how long is this drive? How long is that drive? You have to play it by ear relative to how the game goes.
Okay, fine. But the people want to see Deshaun Watson. Like a lot of Deshaun Watson. Bill O'Brien tabs Tom Savage as a starter still, but Watson will back him up and play. And Texans fans hope he plays a lot. The Texans open their preseason Wednesday night at Carolina. Yes, a broken clock is right twice a day, but it's the broken record at Texas that is playing the same song on repeat. Another week, another major commitment for Tom Herman. Herman lands Houston Westfield defensive tackle Keandre Coburn, the state's #1 defensive tackle, according to 24/7 Sports. Coburn was an Under Armour All-American, and he's 6'3", 334 pounds. That is a freshman. Next year, what kind of impact will the 2018 freshman class actually make on the field? Well, if they come in and work like the 2017 class, a pretty solid one. Herman suggested today that 9 of the 15 newcomers could see the field this year, specifically naming these 6. Now, he did not name Sam Ellinger, but there's no reason to look too much into that. Sam's going to see the field more than likely at some point. Todd Orlando's defense will see the field, and they need to see it much better than they did a year ago. Texas finished 90th in scoring defense, giving up 31.5 points per game. So Orlando's taking out the complicated stuff and asking for something more simple this year.
To get these kids to be one when they go out in the field. That's all we're trying to do during this camp. And what a better time to do it is when you spend 12 to 14 days with somebody, and then you're going to be put through adversity. And the one thing about fall camp that's great is you got to battle through it together, and you got to work things together to push through it. And that's all we care about right now.
Mike Rosenthal in Austin High, one of the many high schools around the area that begin practice today. The Maroons senior class is in a very interesting position. They've gone to the playoffs in each of their first 3 years, but never won a playoff game. Ominous start to the season. They had to practice inside with all the rain this morning, too.
We're excited to be back regardless of the weather. I think our grass is excited because it'll get a little water, it'll grow a little bit, but no, we're fine. I think it's just an excitement. You know, you wake up super early, you can't sleep last night, you're excited about what you have.
We got juice, we definitely got juice. This is where it all starts, this is where it all begins. Ready to get this whole thing started.
First day of practice means you got to show up, you got to show what you're made of, and you got to be able to get through anything that's thrown at you.
Outside of football today, Austin High in mourning following the news that Don Baylor died this morning. Baylor was the first African-American to play football and baseball for the Maroons and went on to play in the major leagues for 19 years and win an American League MVP. Don Baylor was 68 years old. Now here's Mickey in your Cowboys Daily.
Welcome to Cowboys Daily for Monday, August 7th, brought to you by Miller Lite. Hi, Mickey Spagnola here at Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California, where the Cowboys got back on the practice field on Monday. They've had sort of a disjointed prior week going to Canton for the Hall of Fame game, the induction, all that stuff now is over. The Cowboys are going to have 4 consecutive practices. They need to get back in rhythm, and Jason Garrett has said this is a real important week. Cowboys also see Tyron Smith get back on the practice field along with Malik Collins, so they're starting to get some of those injured guys back on the field, and that's certainly going to help the quality of practice. Join us again Tuesday, August 8th for our next Cowboys Daily.
Nicole Harford is tracking our weather for us. A little wet this week, kind of nice.
Yeah, we got a lot of rainfall this morning, overnight, and we do have the chance for some rain, but not looking quite as good as we clear out for the rest of the week.
Love those cooler temperatures, though. Felt great today.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Colbert's next.